Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm going to be going over today some upgrades I've made on the kayak. This setup has really improved my time out on the water, my efficiency, just the overall fun I have fishing in the kayak. So I hope you guys like it. We'll be covering the trolling motor mount that I made, along with the pulley system I have to get the motor out of the water. We'll be covering the steering system, and we'll be covering the battery and the PWM box, how I rigged that up. All of the equipment I used, I'll try to link in the description. If you have any questions about how I rigged up anything, leave it in the comments. If you have any ideas that'll improve the setup of my kayak that you've done, leave it in the comments. Also remember, give this video a thumbs up, please. Like and subscribe. I need your support. I want to grow this channel. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and hope you guys like it. So this is my motor mount. What I had to do was rivet these Yakattack gear tracks. They're the 6-inch. I riveted them in with these rivets. They're waterproof. They have the rubber stopper on them. So I have one on this side and one on this side. These right here are T-bolts. You can get these on Amazon. They just come right off. And then this thing just slides off. I'm gonna show you how I assemble this. I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like on with the motor on there. I'm gonna show you guys how I assemble all this on right now really quick. I'll do my best because I only have one hand. Here's the T-bolts. These just go right into the gear track. 1, 2. Next, here's the mount. This mount is all aluminum. It's 1/16 inches thick. An angle piece, and I have the tube piece here. I got these from Home Depot. I riveted all these together. I probably overdid it on the rivets, but what the heck. It's sturdy as heck. This is just a 2x4. I screwed it in there, and then I screwed it in with this aluminum angle. I screwed the angles in the bottom with some nuts and washers. There it is. It's really lightweight because of the aluminum. It's solid. It doesn't bend at all. I have these holes drilled in. That's the hole that these screws go through. Okay. So I'll center this here. Okay. I'll see if I can do this with one hand. One side goes there. And this side, come on, this side goes on there, okay? So that's on all the way. Now I take these and I'll just screw them on. Okay, there's 1, 2. So that's real time, guys. That takes me a little shorter when I'm out because I have 2 hands, but that's all it is, okay? Super solid. That's the mount. Here's the trolling motor. It has this long tube because that's part of how I wire it to the PWM box, which you'll see later. Now I just take the trolling motor. Just goes right on there. Make sure it's nice and center. Just like that. Okay. This goes under here, and it'll go up to there eventually, but this is what it looks like. Nothing's in the way, and then you just tighten these on. Okay. So that's the motor mount. When I get into shallow water, how do we get the motor out of the water so that it doesn't scrape the bottom? Because part of the reason people love kayak fishing, why I love kayak fishing, is you can get places the boats cannot get because of how shallow you can go in the kayak. Now there's two ways that I've seen people modify this motor to be able to get lifted up out of the water. First is this way. Okay, in order to do that, this locking clip has got to be somehow, you got to set it to unlocked. So that's not how I did it, because when you unlock this, if you are to reverse, it might go backwards like that. But with my way, when it's locked in, when you reverse, it's going to stay right there. So the way I did this, mine actually will come out of the water like this. Okay, up and down. I used this pulley. It's a Harken pulley. Got it on Amazon. I drilled a hole in this little metal piece, this little angle, and got a carabiner and just some cheap paracord. With this Harken pulley, the way that this trolling motor has these edges out here, I was not able to get it flush. What I did was I bought some rubber washers. I actually have 3 here and 3 here on each of these screws. That way it brought the pulley out so that it can be flush. Okay, you see that? Now, I have this tied to a carabiner because it lets me take this motor off really easily. If I didn't have a pulley here and this rope was attached to where I pull the motor up, I'll show you, this would not be able to come off. This would be stuck to the kayak. I think you'll understand in a second. The other thing before I get to that I did was I added this rudder here. What it is, it's just a $2 Walmart cutting board. I got a piece of cardboard, cut out my template, traced it, and cut this with a saw and sanded it down. I drilled 4 little holes and put zip ties. I've been out once with this rudder and it makes a world of a difference. Better turning. I highly recommend doing this. Super easy. Now, how I pull it out of the water. I have this pulley here, and then I have this pulley here. Before I go out for the day, I will attach these two, just like that. Okay. Now this pulley goes all the way here, all the way through this that I riveted to the kayak. Goes under that and attaches right here. Now this is a little, it's like a cleat. That's what it's called, it's a cleat. I got this on Amazon as well. I also installed gear tracks because this kayak does not have these gear tracks in it. It's just a well stock. So I attached these gear tracks. I have one on this side and one on the other side, which is actually the one that's more useful. But I have this in case I want to use it. Now, this is just PVC 3/4 inch. Drilled a hole in it and tied a knot in the inside so it wouldn't go anywhere. So when I pull on this handle, the cleat will automatically lock the paracord and lock the motor in the upright position. So let me show you how it's done. So I pull here. When I pull, the motor comes up. I let go. You can see that is locked in there. It's not going anywhere. You can see the motor now, it's out of the water. When I want to lower it back in, I just pull up a little. Let's get the kayak stable. I pull up like that, it unclips, slowly lower it down. That's all it is. And then this just stays right here. So that's how I did the motor mount. That's how I did the pulley system. Next, I'm going to show you the steering. The steering and the pulley system kind of go hand in hand. If you're going to do this pulley system I had and the steering system I had, you need to make sure that you watch both videos because, or just this long video, because they go hand in hand. You need to watch the whole video. For the steering system, I bought this on Amazon. It's an aluminum steering system for kayaks, exclusively to fit around this trolling motor shaft. This just screws on, comes with these nuts and bolts. It's really easy to get on, fits perfect. It's nice because you can fit them on any one you want, any of the 4 holes you want. I just fit them on the last hole. So the way I rig this up is I have these carabiners never come off my kayak. Even when I rig it on top of the van, these never come off. I'll show you why. When I'm done, I clip them together. I clip this one and this one together, and I tighten the front so that they're not flopping around all over the place, which it worked for me the times I've taken it out. So this clips on this one. See if I can do it with one hand. There. And then this one clips on right there. Okay, so those are clipped on. The way I have this done, these were already on my kayak. There's a hole right through that piece. These used to hold the bungees, which I took off a while ago. I didn't need the bungee. It just got in the way of my crate. So I run it through this one, underneath the motor mount. I run it through that one, and then through this one, through this again along with the pulley. But this one actually goes all the way here. And on the Lifetime Yukon, you got this piece that comes with the kayak. This piece holds the seat. It actually has these holes in it. I just run this rope right through that hole. You can just see it. It's just an easy place. That way I didn't have to drill anything extra. This end is tied to this CamJam, this Nite Ize CamJam. This thing's awesome. Same thing on the other side. That cable runs there under the PWM box and through the same thing, and it meets on the other side. The key feature of the steering system is this right here. It doesn't work without this, along with the pulley to get the motor out of the water. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. This goes into the hole of the CamJam. Okay, there it is. So it's through that hole. And then this tightener right here, you just pull it tight and it locks in. See, it's locked in there. See how loose that is? You want it this loose if you're gonna raise the motor up. I'll show you why. If I have it tight, let me tighten it for a second. If I have this thing this tight, which is how tight you need it when you're steering, see if I pull, I'm gonna show you how this works. So if I pull this way, you can see it's gonna turn me to the right. If I pull the other way, it's gonna turn me to the left. Right, left, right, left. It's really easy. When you're in a spot that's super shallow and you want to lift that trolling motor out of the water, you cannot do it with this tight, because if that's tight, these are super taut. When I go to pull the motor up, these 2 steering cables are going to prevent the motor from moving up. They're going to like hold it down so it's not going to be able to come up. That's why this CamJam is very important, because when I want to lift that motor up, all I do is loosen this piece. Loosen, loosen, loosen. Set it down. See how loose that is? It's not in anyone's way. Then I take the pulley and I can pull it up as far as I want. Okay, and it locks right into place. And then when I'm done, I lower it back down. All right. That's how the steering works. I love this steering system because I didn't need to drill into the foot pedals or mess with the foot pedals or do any drilling into the kayak or complicated stuff. This is super easy. It's super simple, but it's been super effective. It's been really nice to just steer with one hand. Sometimes I steer with one hand and hold my rod in the other hand, or eat a sandwich or drink, whatever. This steering system's been awesome though. Okay, that covers mount, pulley system, steering. The last thing we're going to talk about is the battery and the PWM box. How I'm able to control the on-off and the speed of the motor without having to reach all the way back there. So I have this battery box. It's the Newport Smart Battery Box. Got it off Amazon for about 60 bucks. Okay, inside, let me show you the battery. We got the 12.8 volt 50 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery from Egoworthy. These are on Amazon. This thing has lasted me, I've only taken it out for like a max of 3 hours, and it's lasted me the whole 3 hours. It's a cheaper option. It's not one of those super expensive ones that no one can afford. So the reason for the pool noodles is to hold this battery in place so it's not flopping around all over the place in there. It holds it nice and tight. This goes on, and then this just buckles to the other piece right here. It's got a cigarette light adapter, and it's got a USB right here if you want to charge your phone or your GoPro, whatever it is. The way we did the wiring, we bought one of these female male wires. It came with 2 of these. We cut them in half. Make sure you know the length of the motor to your PWM box and the battery to the PWM box before you cut. And we used heat shrink tubing and crimpers to splice and do all that. This is electrical tape. This is 1 inch just plastic tubing. These are 3/4 inch PVC. The 3/4 inch didn't quite fit. It was a little small, but the next size up, the 1 inch, was way too big. We used a 3/4 inch, heated up with a lighter, and just stuck it on there, and it's on there well. We have one little connector piece in the middle and another elbow right here. The wires go up and out. So this goes all the way, goes under the mount, and it goes right into the motor, M for motor, into the PWM box there. Nice and easy. Okay, I'll show you how I have this mounted in a second. Now we get the battery. Loosen these up a little bit. Make sure you do positive side. This is hard with one hand, but you can see if you have 2 hands, this is not a hard thing to do, guys. It doesn't take too long to do this. Got that all plugged in, good to go. You can see where we spliced this. I don't have this covered in the plastic tubing. I'll probably do that later. So you got your female, male end. It just goes right into the B for battery. Boom. We're all connected. All right. So we got battery to the PWM, and we got trolling motor to the PWM. This is like the brain of the kayak. The way I have this on, remember I said how I have this mount. I bought this mount, and I put it in this little well that was already in the kayak. On this side, I have a washer on the inside, a big washer on each, and 2 nuts, and this big L. It's like a L bracket there. And I already had holes right here. And then I have these small T-bolts, the same ones I have in the motor mount, just shorter. And I just tighten it on with this, and it goes on super easy. Just make sure you don't get in the way of the seat. Okay, so you got here switches that we made. I'll leave a link to the box. The box came separate from everything. Then the PWM's inside here. I'll show you guys. This is a waterproof box. We had to attach these separate, and then this is your switch. We had to carve a little hole for the switch and a hole for the dial. So you got your forward, off, reverse. That easy. And you got your adjustable speed dial here. Let me show you how this works. It's nice because I can control this all really easily with just my right hand. We're gonna go forward. We're gonna turn the speed dial up. And that turns the motor on. All right. Then we're gonna turn it off and off. And when we're done, we just put it in the off mode and it's good to go. This is why this is nice, because I can control everything with just my one hand. Reverse, forward, on, off, all that stuff. All right, I want to show you guys inside of the box so you can see the actual PWM remote, see how we rig that. So here's your remote, your controller. This one's nice because it's got a fan in it, because this thing gets kind of hot. And you can see it's got battery positive, battery negative on the edges. So that's where I wired the B for battery is on, B for battery is on the left. So you can see the wires from the left one are going to the red is going to the positive B on the very left, and the black is going to the negative B, negative battery on the right. Okay, and then M for motor on the right is going to the motor positive, motor negative, and they're two in the middle, which is kind of odd, but whatever. You can kind of see I had to carve that out there, and if you had a Dremel, this would be pretty easy, but we didn't have that. We had sandpaper and drill bits. And these are the washers I was talking about. There's the PWM. This was the hardest part of the whole thing. It was the most tedious, time-consuming part. But if done well, if done carefully, it's super effective, super nice. I hope that was all clear for you guys. That covered the motor mount. We have the actual trolling motor itself, the mods we made to the trolling motor itself. What I want to do eventually is get a weedless wedge prop, because I've actually had weeds get stuck in here once and the propeller didn't work as well. We covered the battery, the smart battery box, how that is rigged up to the PWM box. We covered the steering system, how it works with the pulley system. All of this stuff on the kayak comes off except for this part, which is not a big deal because you just tighten this thing down all the way and then you clip these two together and you tighten them onto the kayak, and it's nice and secure to the kayak. So there it is, everyone. Again, guys, if you have any comments on things that you would do differently, new ideas I could add on or adjust to make my rig a little better, please let me know in the comments. I know a lot of y'all have good ideas. I got a lot of my ideas from YouTubers out there. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Stay safe out there, guys. Thanks again for watching, and always, tight lines, keep fishing.